Kevin Brockway is with me, but now we're joined by former Indiana native, national champion, league commissioner, commissioner of his own league, Kyle Guy. How are you, brother? Appreciate you joining us.
For sure. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Kyle, of course, originally from Lawrence Central High School. Went to Virginia, won a national championship. And just still very popular around the state, very well known. And now you've got your own league going, which has got to be fun. The Tuesday night, you could have just called this the Tuesday night league, but it's a little bit better than the old fashioned Tuesday night league.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's called the Dizzy Runs Pro-Am. And this is our first year doing it. We had a fantastic turnout week one, which was last week. So week two is tonight, actually. At Mojo Up Sports Complex, we had over 2,000 people come to the first week, and this week we have even better players, better names. Mason Gillis from Purdue's coming, a couple NBA guys, so it'll be a good night. Yeah,
and is it free to get in?
Yep, it's free to get in, and they serve beer and wine there. So
people, did you hear that? You can go watch some incredible, really good basketball for free. And see guys that you probably wished you could have seen a long time ago that you could probably get a lot closer to now. Mm-hmm. That sounds awesome. How did this come about?
And beer and wine too, which they don't serve at all. That's pretty good.
And beer and wine. Well, they do, but just to the money people, baby. What got you into the? Why did you want to start this tournament?
Yeah, I don't know. This summer for me is just all about giving back to the city and the state, and I just felt. Last summer I was going to LA to play an open gym. I was going to Miami to play an open gym. And, I just had a kid, so I wanted to stay close to home. I was like, man, why not have one here? Like, this is the best basketball in the world, this state. So why don't we have one? And so last summer we had a bunch of just like private open gyms for select players. And, we got so many good players so quickly that we were like, we might as well make this thing a league. So all those things going together just made it easy. And like you said, there's new generational players. There's a few players, that you maybe haven't seen or heard of in a while, like Krishan Hopkins and Andre Owens, guys like that. So it's a good mix of just great basketball through and through.
And there are a ton of people that are still involved in basketball, like yourself, in the Indianapolis area. You got the Teagues up there with the factory and the Gordons. They've got their EG3 going on. I don't leave any about it. I'm not even talking about the young AAU stuff, but there are so many. Do those guys, any of them come in and play in that?
Yeah, so Marcus Teague played in it last week. He's playing again tonight. Just battling a minor injury, so I don't think he's going to play this weekend. But I've talked to everyone. Eric's in Houston training. I'm in the AAU business now too, so I talk to him. I see him all the time, and it's nice to know that there's just a bunch of guys from the city that come back and give back.
Yeah, that's great. And it's really great to see all these, because there's a lot of guys that are kind of in your maybe a few years older, but where you all can kind of do this, which that's not always the case. They're spread out. There's so much that's going on, whether it's TBT that's also happening right now. We'll talk about that too. But yeah, the Dizzy. How long does the Dizzy Runs last? It's every Tuesday night.
Yeah, it's Tuesday, so it started last week, so it's July 12th through August 6th. So it's 4 Tuesdays and 1 Saturday for the championship.
So looking forward to that. Make sure you go out to that, the Dizzy Runs Pro-Am at the Mojo Sports Complex, which is it's the former Finch Creek. If you know what is Finch Creek, basically. That's where they have a lot of the AAU events. Been there several times. Great complex. Not only do they have courts around, but they've got in the other corner turf. They've got baseball. It's incredible.
It's a big complex.
We saw Trey Kaufman-Wren and Logan Duncan play there a few years ago. Remember, Jim? We went up there and
I saw Liam McNeely. I've seen everybody there this year. It's crazy, but yeah. What and then tonight? What's on tap for tonight?
Yeah, tonight. So My team played. There's like we play 2 games at once at 7 p.m. and then there's a night game at 8:15. And so the 8:15 game, we bring out a couple celebrities. Last week we had Joey Molinaro and Chris Evans, who went to Ben Davis, plays for the Bengals now. This week we got Glenn Robinson, Josh McRoberts, Chris Evans again, and I might be Ryan Klein, buddy of mine's coming. So
Kyle,
go ahead.
Yeah. I was going to say that I was fortunate enough to obviously, cover that Final Four that you were in 2019 in Minnesota. And I'm always just curious about the bonds that are created, with those Virginia players. What's it like? DeAndre Hunter obviously is, having some success in the NBA and so forth. What's that bond like a few years later? Are you guys still pretty tight?
Yeah, I mean, even if we didn't talk as much as we did, it'd be impossible to break that bond. We are forever going to be intertwined because of the ups and downs we went through at UVA. And when you win national championship, it's kind of like if I didn't talk to him for 10 years and then we went and got dinner, it'd be like we had been talking the entire 10 years. It's just kind of how it is. So.
Yeah, it's totally understandable because it's just like those friends that there's once a bond as strong as that, because what it takes to earn a national championship didn't happen over one summer. Right. It didn't happen over 1 month of practice and didn't happen in one game. So to get to that point of winning any championship in any sport, I don't care if it's NASCAR racing or if it's soccer. It right. takes blood, sweat, tears, time, and just everything. And you do that with a group of people. So it's just there. And it's actually it's an awesome thing to be able to carry through life.
Yeah. Yeah, no question. Like you said, we've been through so much together. It's impossible not to be intertwined on some level.
And, a very interesting parallel, too. You look at like the 1986 Indiana team upset by Cleveland State, one of the first big upsets in college basketball. And the next year they win the national championship. You guys upset by UMBC. And then the next year you guys turn it around and use it as fuel. I mean, that was probably a pretty amazing offseason, I would guess, to be able to get to that point.
Yeah, I mean, the first 3 weeks of the offseason sucked. And that was a very dark time for most of us. But when you have Tony Bennett, leading the charge, he went about it the right way. He got us all on the same page. And I personally believe that, if we didn't lose that game, that we probably wouldn't have won the championship the next year. So I do believe that was the turning point for us.
How hard was that, though? That had to be pretty rough.
Oh, yeah. On every level, social media was hard to get on. You're getting death threats. I mean, after the game we had.
Wow, really?
Oh yeah. After the game we had a bomb threat at our hotel, so we had to get. It was literally like a movie. Like we pull up, there's police everywhere because of these threats, and so we had to go through the kitchen, and police escorted one by one to our room. So it was straight out of the movie, just salt in the wound, But yeah, I mean, there was just a lot to unravel and heal from, because it was more than just like losing that game. It was the pressure we put on ourselves. We were number 1 seed the entire freaking year. We only lost twice. We were 31-2. So we were on pace for this historic season, and it still was, for good and bad reasons. So just a lot to unpack. And, after we got through that probably first month stretch, after we lost, I think everyone, turned the page and started writing a different chapter.
Well, it was a great chapter to come back from. And I wonder where that guy who ever called in the bomb threat nut jobs, where he was the next year. But I'm glad that none of that stuff came to fruition. But congratulations. Well, talk about the, winning it. I know it was great. But going through life now, being a national champion, knowing I got this. Nobody can take this. I'm talking about the ring, baby. Nobody can take this away. I've got this forever. And it doesn't even matter if I lose the ring. It's still, I've got the ring. And it'll never leave me ever.
Yeah, it's weird, man. I mean, on some level, it really doesn't even feel real still to this day. Like, obviously, I know we did it. But I'm a big person, like I'm a big visualizer. So when I set a goal or decide I want to do something, like I'll literally visualize it, and like I already know what it feels like to win the national championship. So now that we've done it, it's not as exciting to me because I already knew it was going to happen. So that's part of the tricky thing with me is like I think that's part of why I get stuff done is because like I already know what it feels like, therefore like it has to happen. And so after we lost UMBC, and even as a kid, like even a perfect example, like winning Mr. Basketball, like I knew I was gonna win Mr. Basketball when I was like 5, maybe 6, because I was just around Indiana basketball. I was watching Greg Oden, Mike Conley. I was watching all these guys that were winning Mr. Basketball and going to the next level. Like I just knew in my soul and in my gut that like it was gonna happen. So when I won it, I wasn't surprised. I wasn't, not in like a cocky way. I just kind of like I already knew. So
that's incredible. But even though you had that confidence, actually getting that, actually being named Indiana Mr. Basketball, which to me, there is no in high school basketball, there is no greater title in the world because it starts here in the United States, but there's no better title in the United States than Indiana Mr. Basketball. It just you can stop right there. Yeah. Is that better than a national championship?
I mean, maybe individually, I don't know. I think doing something with your team on a national level, although Indiana Mr. Basketball is one of the better titles in the nation, like it's a state thing, you know. So I think Virginia, like going out there showing you're the best team in the world at that level, that's pretty hard to beat. But they go hand in hand, man. I'm super proud of both of them.
As you should be. I mean, because they're both pretty damn high honors, as about as high as you get. I'm going to have to go back in the list. How many former Mr. Basketballs are national champions? Ooh, that's a good trivia question. Holy gosh, that'll take somebody.
Steve Alford, was he Mr. Basketball?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one to pull up. But I'd like to pull. I bet
I'd like to know. So when you find out, let me know.
Don't worry, I'm going to get that done, and I'll send that to you. Let's see. Oh yes, TBT, man. Okay, since IU is going to try. Well, first of all, Indiana fans would have loved to have you playing for IU. It didn't work out. You ended up going to Virginia. Was there, and there had to be some disappointment in you as an Indiana kid growing up that it just didn't work out. I'm going to get into the here's and whys, but that that didn't happen.
Yeah, I won't tell you why, but I'll just say that
I already know why.
Well, I won't say live why. I mean, growing up, that's where I wanted to go. So it's a little, I mean, it's true. I wanted to wear the candy stripe pants. Like I have family on the board of trustees there. Like I grew up going to games. That's what I wanted to do. So I wanted to go there. It didn't end up working out. And by the end of it, Purdue was easily my second choice behind Virginia. So.
That'll make Indiana fans just feel great. But I'll tell you this, Michael Lewis, great friend of the show. I've known Michael for a while. He grew up a Purdue fan. And down at Jasper had, I think he told me he had Purdue bed sheets when he was a kid or something, and he was on his visit. Purdue was recruiting him. IU was recruiting him, and he's on the visit at IU, and his mom and dad are in the office, and he's sitting in the chair, and Bob Knight walks in, sits down. Well, Michael, how are you? What do you think of IU basketball? Oh, it's great. Yeah. Could you see yourself playing here? Oh, well, yeah. All right. And he said, Knight stood up, slapped him on the back, said, talk to you later. And he said, out the door he went. He said, he turned around, and his parents said, what the hell just happened? He said, I think I'm going to IU.
That's awesome.
I swear to God, that came from Michael Lewis. So
that's awesome.
It's just funny. But it is, yeah. And another one I just heard the other day, holy crap. Oh, Larry Bird. When he was finally recruiting Larry Bird, he was down there in front of him, and the coach leaves the office, says he got a phone call, and comes back in and says, Larry, that was Purdue. They just want to confirm your visit next week. And Knight said, that BS ain't happened. He goes, Larry, I want to know right now. Are you coming to Indiana? If I need to know right now. He said, well, okay, yeah. So they canceled the Purdue visit.
Yeah.
It's funny how the old recruiting stories are, because I don't think you can get those great old recruiting stories today, because it's such a different era.
Right.
Man, are you disappointed about missing out on NIL?
I'm not disappointed, no, but it, would have
you would have killed it in the state of Indiana.
I would have killed it in Virginia too. I tell you, I mean, yeah, it would have been nice, probably have a bigger house, stuff like that. But that stuff's not like super important to me. So, I mean, it would have been nice, because I was, as most college players at the time, just, fighting to get by. So it definitely would have been nice, and me, Ty, and Dre definitely would have made a killing, but I'd rather have a national championship than just NIL. Now, I'd love to have both, but if we were choosing.